There's this thing about places that don't feel connected to the rest of the world.
Yes.
A laundrette to me doesn't feel connected to anywhere else. It's just a beautiful space to just chill and have a moment to just be like in your mind.
Distraction free.
Where have you lived? Barnet?
Yeah, Barnet and
Birmingham?
Birmingham, Brixton, all
Brixton.
the bees.
Brixton as well?
Brixton, I lived in
Barnet,
Brixton for a bit.
Birmingham,
yeah.
Brixton.
People at school used to think I was a bit of a Londoner, and people in London think I'm a bit of a Brummie. But the creative culture of London is very different.
Yeah.
I do think Londoners are quite arrogant for like no reason.
Yeah.
And it's good, you know, it means that they're really good at making pop stars and rappers and stuff. But it's just gas, isn't it? You know, it is just gas. And that's what I try and tell people from Birmingham is that it is, you just gas it, like just literally just say, yo, like...
This is what I'm doing, this is who I am.
Yeah.
And people are into it.
You're taught really to just be a nice person in Birmingham. And so it's a bit apologetic. You know, you're like, well, you know, I'm probably not that cool, really.
Yeah.
But that's not the place for a musician.
Have you ever down the line ever said, the streets is actually just me? Or the streets,
well, I mean, it
like,
was kind
what
of,
is and what makes the streets?
I mean, I don't know. If you were going to ask me what Mike Skinner is, and if I was going to talk about myself like Craig David does, like that, then I would say Mike Skinner is a producer.
Okay. What's the difference between Mike Skinner, The Streets, and then Darker the Shadow, Brighter the Light?
Well, The Darker the Shadow is the name of the film that I'm writing.
Yeah.
And it's also the name of the album that I'm making, which is By the Streets.
Why now for the return of the streets?
I kind of started to think that I had something to say.
Oh, really? Has anyone quoted your enemy quote back to you about you bringing back the streets when you were 40 and broke?
Yeah, well, I'm not 40 and I'm not broke, so...
If you bring back the streets, you go on tour again, is that like a big influx of loads of money again? Is it about the money? It is?
No, it's not about the money, but there is a lot of money.
There is that element to it?
Yeah.
Is that the thing that you was looking forward to the most? What was the one thing you wanted the most out of doing a tour as the streets
I wanted to make a film, simple as that.
Right, okay.
I want to make a film, I want to make a soundtrack.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that I'm thinking about. But the tour surprised me, actually.
Why?
It was really good fun.
What about it went well for you?
I remembered the words. That's 95% of it for me, is remembering the words.
Does it feel like you're getting back into a character almost? Do you feel like you're having to put on a mask or an energy that is different to who you were on a day-to-day, taking your kids to school in an Uber and stuff? Like, how different is that?
Yeah, I mean, it can feel like that, but it kind of didn't really. If you've written the songs, you really believe them, you know, you like them or something about them. So, no, you don't. It doesn't really feel like an act. But you know, at the weekend, people go out, don't they? And they have a good time, and then they go back to doing their job. And when you become like a rock star or something, or a musician, your every day is Friday night. It's a Friday night, Monday, Friday night, Tuesday, Friday night, Wednesday. And in the end, you actually just want to play golf or something, right? You know, you're just like, all these Friday nights, I just want
I need a Monday night. I need a real Monday night.
And that, you know, obviously, that's the thing. Whereas I think when you get a bit older, it goes back to being Friday night.
Okay.
And it's good. I mean, this tour was like Friday night, right?
What about your family? What did they say? Were they happy?
Yeah. I mean, my mum got in the mosh. Pretty much.
She did?
Well, she wasn't moshing.
Which show?
Like Brixton, a couple of them.
She was in a Brixton mosh pit?
It's not really that deep, really.
Are you joking? If my mum was in a mosh pit, I'd be scared. Like, I would be petrified.
Has anyone ever, like,
I have seen
had
pictures
a problem in a mosh?
after shows that people tweet and say, and they're
broke
like,
my arm and
broke my arm, you know, my face is bleeding, lost my shoe.
You can break your arm walking out the street. You can.
My brother just had a baby.
Yeah.
Had a girl. And I know you're raising a daughter.
trying to.
Trying to.
Yeah.
And I remember doing an interview with Lily Allen. She said the scariest thing about the world is Instagram, for young girls.
But doesn't she spend 5 hours a day on Twitter?
She's on Twitter a lot, yeah.
I do think there comes a point in your life where the new generation is unrecognisable.
Okay.
Like.
And you're okay with that?
I'm not there yet, but you know, girls take selfies and there's this whole thing where they just tell each other that they're beautiful and stuff and sort of preen and I just think that's just how kids do it now. I think I'm a pretty good role model. If I've got something to do, I don't take my phone out.
Really?
No. So I think you've just got to sort of. I'm perfect, basically. I mean, I don't know what to say. Like, I just think like you just have to work it out, and you probably will never work it out. You'll just get old.
Keep trying.
But your children will work it out.
So you're not even worried.
I mean, I'm more worried about the world overheating in a massive way and everything melting and in madness. That worries me.
More than Instagram.
Yeah.
Yeah. The path that Mike Skinner has lived so far, would you advise that someone else took that path? Would you say that this was a good example of loving music, making stuff, writing stuff,
it's not a career. It's just like a series of things that seem right at the time, which, looking back on it, aren't clever, really. I mean, I've definitely been destructive of myself. People close to me do say that. I mean, actually, talking about like Drake, I feel like his sort of superpower is his ability to control his emotions. He kind of makes good decisions. Yeah. You compare him to like Kanye.
Yeah.
And Kanye is just like mad as a box of frogs, and just really impulsive and reactionary. It's like reacting to how people see him and what people say about him. And whereas Drake just makes solid decisions. It ends up being very tidy and clean, and I don't know whether that's a good or a bad thing. I don't know whether you want to be Drake or Kanye. I mean, I guess most people would prefer to be Drake at the moment.
Who would you prefer to be?
I think I'd prefer to be Kanye.
Yeah.
Even though he's sort of mad.
So where are you going after this, please?
I'm going to go around there. Go and find a coffee and ask them to put ice in it.
So how many are you going to have by the end of the day?
No, this will be my last.
This is the last one?
Yeah, this is getting late now. It's getting late. Or early, as we used to say.
Yeah.